Have you ever felt like life is moving faster than you can manage? Like you're juggling a thousand things, work, family, dreams, but deep down, something feels off? Maybe you're succeeding on the outside, but on the inside, there's this quiet frustration, a feeling that there has to be more than chaos you're surviving every single day. If that's you, I want you to know you're not alone. And you're exactly who this podcast and this book was written for. Hi, my name is Dwayne Walker, and I want to welcome you to the Building Excellence podcast, where in this season, we're going to be focusing on my new book, The Cure to Chaos. In The Cure to Chaos, we're going to be having a conversation about clearing the noise, reclaiming your purpose, and creating a life you were actually designed to live. This podcast is the beginning of something powerful. We'll dive into real stories, practical strategies, and life giving truths straight from the pages of the book. But more than that, we're going to be building a community, a movement of people ready to stop living overwhelmed and to start intentional living. If anything in your life feels scattered or stuck, or heavy, this is your invitation to lean in, grab your copy of The Cure to Chaos, and let's walk this journey together. You can get your copy of the book at thecureToChaos.com. And just know you're not just buying the book, you're actually investing into a better you, a you that your family, your calling, and your future are waiting for. Well, hello to everyone who is watching and listening. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Dwayne Walker, and you're listening to the start of a brand new season of the Building Excellence podcast. In this season, we're going to be diving into my new book, The Cure to Chaos. This season and this book is for anyone who's tired of surviving the day and ready to start living the life they were actually created for. If you've ever felt like your life is moving faster than you can manage, or if your heart feels heavy and your mind feels noisy and your days feel chaotic, I just want you to know you are not alone. And today we're starting a journey to something better. This first episode is all about understanding one simple truth. That truth is that chaos is not your destiny. So let's dive in. First, let's define chaos. Chaos is a word that so many people use, but few people have actually defined. I'm going to give you my definition of what chaos is. Chaos isn't just busyness, it's not just having a lot going on. Chaos is living in a constant state of reaction instead of creation. It's when your time, your energy, and your emotions are pulled in 100 different directions by things you didn't choose or you don't control, and sometimes you don't even want. Chaos shows up as noise in our minds. It's clutter in our schedules, confusion in our purpose, and before you know it, you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, and unsure of where the next step even is. I like to say it like this: chaos is when your life is happening to you instead of through you. And here's the hard part: many of us are choosing chaos without even realizing it because we believe the lie that more is better. If I just do more, if I just drive more, if I just hustle more, if I grind more, if I buy more. then I finally feel better. But the truth is, more isn't better. Better is better. You don't need a fuller calendar to feel fulfilled. You need a clearer purpose. You don't find peace in a full schedule. Guys, listen to me. You find peace in a full heart. Let me say that again. You don't find peace in a full schedule. You find peace in a full heart. I remember a season where every day felt like survival for me. I wasn't building a life, I was just trying to make it through the day. I woke up already behind. I moved from task to task. I was exhausted, but restless. Have you guys ever been there before? Let me explain. Like I woke up so early in the morning and I worked so hard that by the time I got home, I was exhausted. I couldn't wait to go to bed, but when I went to bed, I couldn't sleep. I stayed busy, but deep down, I knew I wasn't moving forward. And in the middle of all the noise, in the middle of all the restlessness, I realized I missed it. I missed precious moments with my wife. I miss precious moments being made with my kids. I miss small wins, small milestones, the reasons to celebrate life, reasons why I'm even working so hard to begin with. I couldn't even see the small beauty right in front of me. I couldn't see the sunrise. I couldn't appreciate the sunset. I couldn't appreciate the new spring flowers. I couldn't just enjoy the fact that I'm living today. I'm experiencing another day with people who love me. I couldn't even see the beauty because I was drowning in the chaos inside of me. I thought I was just doing what I had to do. But in reality, I was losing little pieces of myself, one busy day at a time. If that's where you are, hear me today. I see you, and you're not alone. And you don't have to keep living that way. Everything started to change for me when I chose something different, when I chose to be different, when I chose to slow down, to enjoy every breath, to stop managing the chaos, and to sit up and start leading the chaos. In chapter 1 of the book, we talked about how pressure is a privilege. And here's where I want to take things even deeper because there's something important that many leaders need to hear today. And that pressure is a privilege. And if you feel overwhelmed, if the weight of responsibility feels heavy, it's not because you're failing, it's because you're growing. You've been entrusted with significant duties, maybe by people around you, or maybe by God Himself. But either way, the pressure you're feeling is actually evidence that you're standing at the edge of greatness. It's evidence that people believe in you, that people believe you're somebody that is worthy of responsibility. It's evidence that somebody actually sees you as somebody dependable. It's evidence that you are ready for the leadership that they're entrusting into you. And guys, make no mistake, leadership in your family, leadership in your business, leadership in your community isn't easy. It's actually messy. It's very complex. It stretches you. And most of all, it humbles you. It humbles all of us. Because, yes, it does feel like too much. The moment that you actually come to the place where you know you can't handle it all is humbling. The moment that you begin to feel overwhelmed is humbling. But understand, feeling overwhelmed is not a sign of weakness. It's a phase of growth. You're not just carrying weight, you're expanding your capacity. You're stepping into the life you are truly called to live. So listen, chaos, it doesn't just make you feel tired. If you leave it unchecked, it'll steal from you. Okay? It'll steal your peace, it'll steal your creativity, it'll steal your purpose, even your ability to be fully present in the life you're working so hard to build. So that's why, for our next point, we have to talk about why chaos is so dangerous. It's normal for us to experience it, but dangerous if we don't do something about it. And so let's talk about why curing it matters more than we realize. Simply put, if we stay in chaos too long, it has a very sneaky way of becoming dangerous. There's a hidden cost of living in chaos, and we just talked about how it steals your peace, your creativity, your purpose. And honestly, ultimately, it steals your joy. You don't even want to live every day. You're not waking up with a smile on your face. You're not happy to spend time in the relationships you enjoy most. You're not happy to do the things that you love doing because you're constantly exhausted. Chaos doesn't just exhaust you, it distracts you from who you were meant to become. When you live in a constant state of chaos, you end up leading on empty. And it's so dangerous leading on empty. Your mood shifts, your mindset shifts. Instead of feeling hope, you feel hopeless. Instead of believing for the best, you actually are expecting the worst. You become short tempered, easily angered, easily offended. You start pulling away from people you love. And if you're like me, I actually start pulling away from myself. I remember when I was there, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to smile. I just wanted to be left alone until it was time to go to bed. I went to bed, I couldn't sleep anyway. That's what chaos does. It just steals the color out of life. But listen, you were made for more than just managing chaos. And that's what brings me to my final point today. Why chaos is not your destiny. And I want you to hear me clearly on this. You were made for more. Chaos is not your destiny. You were created for clarity, you were created for peace, and you were created for a purpose. Breaking free is possible, but listen, it doesn't happen accidentally. It happens intentionally. Freedom doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing the right things with the right heart. As Mother Teresa said, God didn't call me to succeed. He called me to be faithful. That's what real success looks like. It's not grind and hustle, then grind and hustle again. Where's the win in that? Where's the beauty in that? Where's the love in that? Real success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things well in the season you're living in. It's about finding fulfillment, not just achievement. It's about trusting that you're right where you're meant to be, even if it's not perfect yet. Things happen when they're meant to, often divinely orchestrated in ways we could have never planned or predicted anyway. So, in closing, I want to invite you to start the Cure to Chaos journey with me. Not just listening to this podcast, but by reading the book alongside it, because you'll discover curing chaos is about more than just slowing down. It's about changing your mindset. It's about defining success on your own terms. It's about establishing core values that guide your decisions. It's about setting boundaries, results driven boundaries, and embracing the journey even when it's messy. If you haven't purchased the book, again, you can go to thecuretochaos.com and let's walk through it together. because you're not stuck, you're not broken, and listen, and it's not too late. You're standing at the start of something better. So let's go. Thank you guys for joining me today. If today's episode spoke to you, grab your copy of the book or share this podcast with someone you love and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. In our next episode, guys, we're going to dive even deeper into how to recognize the hidden chaos that may be silently stealing your peace. But until then, let's keep moving forward to peace, clarity, and purpose. I'll see you next time.